and welcome to the 2023 Susan B. Anthony Women of Affluence Awards Dinner. My name is Tamara Coleman, and it's my honor to be the MC for this part of the evening. This is our 32nd Susan B. Anthony event that recognizes women who believe in equity and exemplify this philosophy. Give of themselves so that others might learn, grow, and succeed, and provide inspiration through leadership, commitment, and of course, collaboration. And as you know, this year is even more special. Why? Someone asked me why. I am so glad you asked me. It's because we're in our new venue. Do you guys like our new digs? Oh, I don't know, I'm not feeling it. Do you like our new digs? Ah, yes. Now, we can't thank UW Parkside Athletics Department and their team enough for their generosity, support, and assistance. We are so grateful that you are now here with us to help reinvigorate our spirits and energy as we recognize some amazing women across our county. Back in 2016, the board of the Susan B. Anthony Awards Dinner decided to spice things up a little bit by adding the Women of Influence, knowing that there's so many community members who exemplify Susan B. Anthony's spirit, and we would never be able to honor them all at one time. Since that change and moving to a bigger venue, we've averaged about 400 attendance each year. And this year, we've increased that number. That's right, tonight, you are sitting amongst 496 people here to celebrate these fine award winners. So give yourself an applause as you're doing, thank you, for helping make Susan B. Anthony Women of Influence Dinner one of Kenosha's best and largest events. So thank you. Past recipients of the Susan B. Anthony Lifetime Achievement Award are just all across this room, and we can't thank you enough for continuing to support the Women of Influence. And so, as I call your name, would you please stand so that we can acknowledge you this evening? And we're asked the audience to please hold your applause until I have announced all of the past winners. I'll start with Honorable Barbara Kluka, Catherine Marks, you can stand up if you're here, Joan Wilk, Adeline Green, Kathy Barth, Jane Harrington Heidi, Deborah Hertzberg, Roseanne Baldoff-Shales, Guida Brown, Michelle Serpy, Ellen Brookhouse, Betsy Brown, Gina Madrigano-Freebus, and Terry Rock. Let's give these women a round of applause, our past lifetime winners. Congratulations to each of you for making Kenosha a better place through your leadership. I'd like to also take a moment to recognize our previous recipients of Women of Influence Awards that are here tonight. Please stand as I call your name, and as always, hold the applause. I know you're anxious to applaud these women. Sandra Reese, Rita Hagen, Sabrina Morgan. You can stand because I know you're here, I've seen you. I know Rita's here. All right, there she is. Sabrina Morgan, Sharon Palmaville, Carly McNeil, Jenny Tunkeys, Tamara Coleman, here I am, and Patricia Demos. Is Pat here? All right, well, let's give these women a round of applause. Thank you for being here to honor tonight's recipients. I would ask all previous winners, please be sure to stay after the event for a small group photo. We'll meet you right up here up at the front, so we thank you for your cooperation in advance. Back in 2016, we had a wonderful lifetime winner by the name of Joanne Ratton. Joanne passed away earlier this year, and I'm just going to ask that you join me in a moment of silence for her legacy and just remembering the wonderful things that she's done in this community. Thank you. Next, I would like to acknowledge our elected officials and dignitaries in the room this evening. Will you please stand if you are an elected official here in Kenosha County? Thank you. Please join me in thanking these community servants. We thank you for your dedication, commitment, and service to this community. I would also like to take a brief moment to recognize a few other people and organizations that have helped make tonight's evening possible. We could not do this without our amazing community sponsors. So at this time, I would like to just take a brief moment to thank our Elizabeth Cayden Staten level sponsors, Snap-on Incorporated, UW Parkside, and of course the Mary Lou and Arthur F. Mahone Fund. Also, thank you to our Alice Paul level sponsors, the Women's Fund of Kenosha Community Foundation, and of course, UW Parkside Athletics Department. And thank you to our Ida B. Wells level sponsors, Uline. We have 3 Olympia Brown level sponsors, Andrea Orndorff LLP, Gateway Technical College, and the Labor Times. Thank you all for your wonderful sponsorships. I'd be remiss if I didn't take a moment to thank our Women of Influence supporters, our wonderful Northside Festival Foods and Quick Trip for providing delicious spread of desserts that you will all enjoy this evening. Also to Joanna Cowbird from Joanna's Digital Imaging and Alyssa Lee Designs Photography for their photography services this evening. Now listen, I need y'all to help me out. Joanna and Alyssa, please wave. Where are you? There's one, and Alyssa's back there. Now please work with them, you all. They're gonna come to your table, smile pretty, get the food out of your teeth. It'll be great. Put some lipstick on, ladies. It'll be wonderful. Please, please make sure that you get your pictures taken and enjoy this and treasure this wonderful, wonderful evening tonight. And of course, don't forget our backdrop. Get some wonderful pictures and share them. We want to make sure that moments of memories like this can be treasured for years to come. Now, how many of you all like flowers? No? Great, because then I can take them all home, no worries. I'm glad you do, because tonight at your centerpieces, we are thankful for our sponsors from Howland Flowers, and they have arranged for you to take these home with you this evening for a small donation of $20. All the money raised from this event goes to help women and children, so please consider bidding up at your table for the flowers. And even more importantly, each one of them have a special little gift. So if you purchase or donate your flower tonight to our $20 donation, you will receive a special gift with each one of the flowers. Now I can't tell you what it is, but I promise you, you'll want it. Be sure to use the envelope on the flowers for your donation, then drop the envelope in the basket at the checkout in the table as you leave this evening, and we thank you in advance. Finally, I would like to acknowledge the Susan B. Anthony Women of Influence Planning Committee, who have worked tirelessly throughout the year to plan and organize this evening's event. Each year, these women give their time and talents to honor women in the community who are making a difference in the lives they touch. Will the committee members please stand as I call your name? Guida Brown, Wendy Gauss, and Wendy's way in the back, Amanda Blummel, Rita Hagen, Selena Garcia, Rebecca Matowski-Minty, Ashley Henricks, Jenny Tunkeys, Frances Kevinek, and yours truly, Tamara Coleman. Thank you, ladies, for volunteering your time and expertise. The women who are on the planning committee are members of co-sponsoring organizations, the AAUW Kenosha branch, the Kenosha Women's Network, and Tempo Kenosha, and we thank them for their sponsorship and their continued support. You can read more about these wonderful organizations in tonight's program booklet. At this time, I would like to invite Jenny Tunkeys to the stage as we begin the awards portion of our evening. Jenny?
Thank you, Tamara. First, I just have to acknowledge, you all look beautiful. What a great crowd, and gorgeous. As you know, we are here tonight to honor 4 phenomenal women just wonderful people who have contributed so much to our community. But what we're also doing is raising money for nonprofit organizations that help our community and for scholarships for non-traditionally aged women who are advancing their careers. So every raffle ticket you buy, the flowers you buy, the gourmet delights, all go toward that effort. So thank you so much for helping. So I would like the Heather Cromie, who is the scholarship winner, and all of the nonprofits that are receiving certificates to please come to the stage. We have Hospice Alliance, the Shalom Center, Society's Assets, United Way of Kenosha County, Women and Children's Horizons. So first we have Heather Cromie. Heather is the scholarship winner this year. She had previously earned an associate's degree from Gateway Technical College and is now, yes, yay, and is now working toward a bachelor's degree in social work from Aurora University. She also plans to achieve her master's in social work. Please join me in congratulating Heather Cromie. Next, I'm pleased to present a certificate to each of the nonprofits. First is Hospice Alliance, which provides hospice care in our community. The funds will assist its Connections program, which provides support to children and their trusted adults who are experiencing grief. Accepting the certificate is Rita Hagan. The Shalom Center, which provides housing, food, and needed support to individuals and families in need in our community, will use its grant award to purchase bus tokens for children and adults in the shelter program to access public transportation. Accepting the certificate is Wendy Cross. Society's Assets of Kenosha, which assists people with disabilities in our community, will be using its grant award to provide startup costs necessary to help people with disabilities live independently through its Stable Home program. Accepting the certificate will be Tammy Fretzel and Pauline Lorenz. United Way of Kenosha County, the mission of which is to help individuals and families in Kenosha County achieve their human potential through education, income, and healthy lives. United Way of Kenosha County is celebrating 100 years this year. They will use its grant money toward the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program, known as VITA, and accepting the certificate are Carolyn Fresh and Javon Clausen. Finally, Women and Children's Horizons, which serves victims of domestic and sexual abuse and their families, will use its grant award to provide desperately needed upgrades to its shelter play space for children. Accepting the certificate is Jennifer Payne. Thank you, and again, they won't know how much money they receive until we collect all of the money from tonight's event. So thank you so much for helping out.
Thank you again for each and every single one of you for coming to support the women we are honoring tonight. These are women who help to define Kenosha and who continuously strive to make it a better community for all of us. I do ask that you all stay until the entire event so that we can fully honor and recognize tonight's award winners. My name is Amanda Blummel, and I am honored to present tonight's award recipients. The first award is presented to a woman making a difference through her work in business, government, or nonprofits. The 2023 recipient is Jean Moran. Jean is the former CEO of LMI Packaging and founding executive sponsor of Building Our Future. In 1976, Jean began her career at LMI Packaging. However, it is not the length of time that I want to talk about that she's been there, but I want to emphasize the impact she made over the years. Jean empowered team members through educational type programs and opportunities, as well as bringing her desire for community involvement to the organization. According to Amy Breil, her nominator, Jean is one of those very rare and extremely compelling visionaries that is also extremely hands-on when it comes to the passions in her life, her family, and equally her community. With that visionary and hands-on approach, in 2016, Jean brought Building Our Future to life. Her goal was to ensure services, programs, and institutions impacting children all aligned for success so that everyone can live into their genius. Before we bring Jean up, I'd also like to share that she is strongly considering taking up drumming lessons, so let's all encourage her to pick up those drumsticks and rock on. Please help me in congratulating Jean as the 2023 Women of Influence in Business, Government, or Nonprofits.
Thank you, Amanda, for that wonderful introduction. Thank you, Amy Breil, for your glowing nomination letter, and to the Susan B. Anthony Planning Committee. This is really quite an honor for me. So one of the greatest highlights for me this evening is to be on this stage soon with Artis Mahone and Debbie Ford. They are both very strong women who have inspired me and for whom I have a very deep respect. I have pondered for days what to say to a room full of people, though there are more here than I expected, who have poured into my life so powerfully. The answer was thank you. Speak to you as honestly and who, as the person that you have all supported me to be, and then let the Lord do the rest. So here goes. There are too many to individually acknowledge in 3 minutes, but I know and I feel each of your presence as I stand up here. I am basking in your love and your caring tonight. Thank you. I also feel the energy of my parents up here tonight, who inspired me with a strong faith and gave me their unconditional love. My children and their life partners and my grandchildren are here tonight. They all bring such joy to me, and they've been my rock through all the ups and downs in my life. My sister Terry is here tonight representing my family. We were 5 children. We grew up in a family business, and as many of you know, that can be tough. I am forever grateful for the hard work that myself and my 4 siblings did to hang up our egos and not let anything come between us. I can't imagine life without them. And to my friends who have also allowed me to be exactly as I am, and they keep coming back for more. You know how blessed I feel to have you in my life. 22 years ago, I was asked to be the keynote speaker for this group. Rebecca reminded me of this when she called me up to tell me about tonight. That night, I showed up as I never have before. I shared my very strong opinions about business, which still is. I believe that we can do a much better job in the business community of contributing as responsible citizens. To suggest that the prime mission of business is to make money is like suggesting that the reason human beings are on Earth is to generate carbon dioxide. I come to find I was only at the early stages of understanding back then of what this meant. I then went on to share a story of a very difficult time in my life. It was a scary place for me to go, but I wanted to be seen by all of you as who I really was. I was worried that I might destroy any credibility that I had gained in Kenosha, and I learned that night that women have a great capacity for compassion. So many of you embraced me that night, and it was life-changing for me. So today, as I stand before you, I thought the best gift I could pay forward to you is to share some of the things you have taught me, which have allowed me to live a life that I love. So the first thing, breathe. Okay. Secondly, go where you are afraid to go, and you will find the rest of your life. Thirdly, when someone says something to you that absolutely makes no sense, maybe even infuriates you, instead of coming out swinging, seek to understand why they said it. Find mentors and friends who are on a similar journey as yourself and play full out with them. Find mentors and friends who are on a different journey than yourself and seek to learn more about their journey. Learn to accept the differences while always seeking common ground. Some of my best friends in Kenosha started this way and from this place. Learn the difference between equity and equality, and your impact in the world will increase exponentially. Consider giving up your membership in the silent majority. Take the risk. There will be hard knocks along the way, but you will learn and grow. Finally, pay it forward. I'd like to elaborate on that last one a little bit. As you saw 7 years ago, a group of community leaders in Kenosha worked together to create Building Our Future. I was blessed to be a part of that. Just when I thought I was ready to retire and golf and kick back, I got a call from Debbie Ford to look at an initiative that was having success in the United States, helping children succeed in life. Today, BOF, Building Our Future, has brought much needed awareness to myself and to so many others about the issues our children are facing. It is a community-wide initiative to ensure that every child in Kenosha gets what they uniquely need to live into their genius. The children are our future, and it is our responsibility to be sure that they can use their gifts to create the positive change our world so desperately needs. There is a wonderful African Ubuntu saying, which I love, who translates like this: I am because we are. That is true for me. I am who I am because of all the women in this room and the men who have supported us, who you have all been for me. In closing, I ask that together we all continue to take on that responsibility for all our children in Kenosha, whether they are in our family or not. Know that they will become who we are for them. It's critically important, and I thank you for letting me speak with you again tonight. Thanks.
Thank you, Jean. Our second award is given to a woman of influence who is active in arts and education, and the winner is Deborah Ford. You all are literally proving my point of what I was about to say. When preparing my introduction for Deborah, I honestly didn't even know where to begin, because reading and researching all about her, I was just in awe. This woman truly is amazing in all that she does. I could literally go on and on about all the organizations she's a part of, awards she has won, and on her commitment to education and her community. Just to share a little bit, because I certainly couldn't cover it all, in 2009, Deborah began putting her mark on UW-Parkside when she became chancellor. She has made an impact by leading the development of UW-Parkside's Bold Leaders, which began in 2021, bringing women of all roles and departments together to learn, grow, and enhance their leadership. Chancellor Deborah Ford is an inspiration to women of all ages and is making an outstanding impact on her community and lives of others. She shared that bigger the better the roller coaster is. Well, I'd say she's enjoying the ride of a lifetime. Please join me in congratulating Deborah Ford as the 2023 Woman of Influence in Arts and Education.
Thank you, Amanda. Good evening, and welcome to UW-Parkside. We are thrilled to be hosting the sellout crowd tonight for the 32nd annual Susan B. Anthony Women of Influence Awards Dinner. Congratulations to my fellow Women of Influence honorees, artists, Jean and Brandy, whom I consider friends, sisters, and trailblazers. I could not be prouder to share this special honor with you. But before I say a few words, it's all about gratitude. So first of all, thank you, Carla, for this very kind nomination. Thank you to the Susan B. Anthony Women of Influence Committee. Thank you to tonight's sponsors. Thank you to the catering team from Aladdin here at UW-Parkside. And of course, let's give a round of applause for all. And of course, my colleagues at UW-Parkside. Another round of applause for everyone who made tonight possible. Thank you for this incredibly special honor as the Susan B. Anthony Women of Influence honoree in Arts and Education. It is quite humbling to be considered a woman of influence. My passion has always been to make a difference in both my personal and professional life. This impact has been possible because of the unending love and support from my husband, John, our children, Abby and JD. Give John a round of applause. As well as so many supportive colleagues from UW-Parkside and colleagues and friends and partners here in this community. So thank you, thank you. When I was completing my doctorate 30 years ago, I read this book, and you can see that I like it from all the tabs. Women of Influence, Women of Vision by Helen Aston and Carol Leland. Giants, and social change. They studied women leaders of the 1950s and 60s, whom they called the predecessors. Women of the 70s, the instigators, while setting the stage for women of the 80s, the inheritors. I have always embraced my role as an inheritor, being a college student of the 80s, and I am very much aware of how their study shaped the way I lead today. In 2014, I had the honor of hosting Drs. Aston and Leland at Wingspread for a legacy conference with other women university presidents. We talked about their study of women across the decades and affirmed the importance of collective action, passionate commitment,
and consistent performance in how we lead social change. Unfortunately, too many of the same challenges faced by Susan B. Anthony in the 1800s and the women in this study of the 50s, 60s, and 70s remain today. As we know, Susan B. Anthony led a full life, and at the age of 84, she gathered a group of women who had also dedicated their lives to the fight for equality for women. She passionately told them, and I quote, "I am counting on you to continue the fight. Failure is impossible," end quote. I see this as a mantra that we as leaders, especially women leaders, must keep in mind as we continue this good fight. The fight for equity and inclusion at all levels. As Susan B. Anthony observed, laws and practices fail when all groups do not have a seat at the table. As Chancellor of UW-Parkside, I have had the good fortune to represent the university, to represent women, and to represent future generations of UW-Parkside students and alumni at the right tables over the years. I was attracted to Wisconsin many years ago because of 6 words in the growth agenda for the UW system: grow people, grow jobs, grow communities. I wanted to be part of this vision, and I believe UW-Parkside has excelled in making this focus on growth a reality for our community. Over the last decade, we have graduated more students from this stage. We have formed more partnerships, and we have reduced equity gaps while solidifying our leadership here in this region. Serving as Chancellor brings me great joy, and my work has extended far beyond the campus boundaries. As a member of the CABA Board, the Building Our Future Executive Committee, Girl Scouts of Southeast Wisconsin, the Mahone Fund Board, and the Kenosha Innovation Neighborhood Incorporated Board, it has been my honor to work towards strengthening and promoting equity in Kenosha and our region. My work involves establishing connections, posing challenging questions, paying attention to all viewpoints, and always keeping the interest of our community, especially future generations, in mind. I am glad to be part of continuing the fight because failure is impossible. So tonight, I proudly accept this honor on behalf of predecessors like Susan B. Anthony, instigators like Carol Leland and Helen Aston, and inheritors like my fellow honorees, UW-Parkside's bold leaders right over here, and the students and graduates of UW-Parkside who make all our lives better. My wish for each of you, especially the next generation of inheritors, is this: find joy in all you do while following your passion. Stretch yourself and dream bigger. Get involved in your community. Live your authentic self. Lead in creating equity and inclusion for all, and focus on making an impact with and for others, not on likes or shares. I am counting on you to continue the fight. Failure is impossible. Thank you very much.
Inspired now. Congratulations, Deborah, well deserved. The third award goes to our Woman to Watch Under 40, and the recipient is Brandy Cummings. Brandy is the head of community programs and partnerships in the Kenosha Public Library. Brandy chose her career with the public library because it allows her to live her passions every day. She carries those passions into the nonprofit community and has served on the Kenosha Literacy Council Board as board president
and she has served on the Young Leaders in Kenosha Board, also known as Y-Link, where she was the president and the executive director. She even created and launched the nonprofit board prep program with CABA. But we aren't the only ones who sing her praises. Brandy earned in 2017, she was recognized for her leadership by CABA as the Future 5 Young Professional and an Emerging Leader by the Cities and Villages Mutual Insurance Company in 2021. She is forward-thinking, passionate, inspiring, and she can't keep a plant alive to save her life. Please help me and congratulate Brandy Cummings, the 2023 Woman to Watch.
Mic up to tall people height for a second. Well, good evening. For those of you I haven't met yet, I'm Brandy Cummings, the head of community programs and partnerships at your Kenosha Public Library, and I am absolutely delighted to be here with you tonight. I'd like to start my time with you with a moment of gratitude for my brother David and my beloved parents Tina and Dave, who raised me to see the shared humanity in each of us. Thank you for your years of love and support. To my brother Tremaine, who's always been my loudest cheerleader. I can never express just how much that means to me. To my brilliant wife, Ellie, whom I love so much and who loves me so well, I could not accomplish what I do in this life without the foundation of your love. My success is your success, and I love you and I like you. To my beautiful friends and colleagues, being shoulder to shoulder with you is one of the greatest adventures in life. Thank you so much for helping me to move forward, but also reminding me to stand still from time to time. And I'd like to thank the Susan B. Anthony Committee, all of the wonderful sponsors, and everyone who helped create this fantastic night and for this great honor. Of course, I'd like to take a moment to recognize my fellow award winners. These women are exquisite examples of mastery in their field. Chancellor Ford has long been an outstanding partner, and her dedication and love for her students, faculty, and the Kenosha community have long inspired me. I've had the great pleasure of working with Jean, both at her time in LMI, and I had a joke in here about being left to deal with JP, but I cut it. But I also still have the copy of The Richest Man in Babylon you gifted me 7 years on my bookshelf. The spine is well worn from many readings. And then there's Miss Artis. There is not a single one of us here who has not been touched by your work, Artis. And I can tell you that there is no joy like when she grabs you by the hands and asks you, "Baby, how are you doing?" Nothing will make your day like that. Your ability to make the people in front of you feel seen and cared for is just one of your many skills I aspire to achieve in life. So when I say I am humbled and honored to be listed among you women, it sounds like an understatement. Thank you all so much for leading with heart. As I prepared for tonight, I found the commonality with tonight's winners is that we each give of our greatest asset to make this community better for other people. That asset is not just our time and talent, but is undeniably of our whole selves. This focus on caring for other people is not new for me. In fact, in the folder in my parents' home office, there's a kindergarten report card where my teacher wrote, "Brandy continues to excel in class, but is more concerned with her classmates having the crayons that they want than finishing her own work." Little did my kindergarten teacher realize that my work was just that, making sure that those around me had what they needed, proving that with collaboration and advocacy for each other, that there was always enough for all of us to have what we want. Later in my high school years, a teacher would write that Brandy is a chronic talker, and that's just an accurate description. So there's an axiom by the Roman poet Virgil that reads, "The noblest motive is the public good," and it has resounded with me my entire life. So it's no surprise to me that I was drawn to work in public libraries. Public libraries are the last places that welcome everyone, regardless of structure or standing. with no barriers to entry and the belief that each of us has unlimited possibilities and potential. We are a place where people come for trusted information in a world full of untrustworthy sources. We're a welcoming faces to people who are lonely, and we are a vibrant reflection of Kenosha. I'm grateful to have the opportunity to devote my life's work to an institution that not only encourages discovery and curiosity, but upholds the virtues of collaboration, storytelling, and equity. It is clear to me I have found a place where I can not only make sure that everyone has the crayons that they need, but I can introduce them to crayons that they've never dreamed of. So in closing, if you would please indulge me in raising a glass. Let's raise a glass to all we have done, for we are paving the future road for those who are coming behind us. Let's raise a glass for all there is yet to do, for there is no nobler motive than the public good. And let's raise a glass to tonight. May we celebrate with great joy and adoration. For my friends, there is much work to be done tomorrow, and it is best done together. Thank you for tonight. Cheers.
Fantastic speech. I loved it, and it was so inspiring. And now, last year's Lifetime Achievement Award winner, Terry Ruck, will present the 2023 Lifetime Achievement Award to artist Mahone Mosley.
Good evening. Wonderful to be here and hear these inspiring words from amazing women. Through her actions, artist has shown me and many other women how to be a better person. You know, there are only a handful of people who come into this world and touch your life in a dramatic fashion. Some are just flickers of light, while others, like artists, are a constant glow, a beacon of light that lasts for a lifetime. You know the story of our history. I've told it, I've shared it with the committee that I met artists in the 1960s as classmates at Washington Junior High, and we have been friends ever since. Even as a young woman, she was a trailblazer, had a strong voice despite the challenge and disparities of being one of only a few students of color in the entire school. I have witnessed firsthand her tireless work for kids, her babies, as she calls them, not only for the Mahone Scholars, but as founder and leader of the Lincoln Dream Girls, and through her advocacy for the Boys and Girls Club, the Shalom Center, the Kenosha Emerging Leaders Academy, the Health Equity Task Force, to name just a few. But it doesn't end there. She supports students beyond these organizations personally throughout their college years, into their careers, to become leaders in their own right. A former dream girl, Jada Peters. Where's Jada? Okay, Jada. Now at Snap-on, the marketing coordinator, my former coworker before I just retired. Jada recalled, Miss Artist was my first exposure to higher education and to the real world. I was bullied at Lincoln, and the only thing that made me feel valued was artists and the Dream Girls. Marissa Greathouse. Is Marissa in the house here? All right, Marissa, Mahone Scholar, alum, and current College of Lake County Workforce Development Coordinator. She said, I can say with confidence, She is the main reason I graduated from college, never hesitating to give me tender support or tough love when needed. She makes it a point to let any student she meets know they are special and deserving just because they are. Nakia Hughes, former Boys and Girls Club Youth of the Year recipient. I don't believe she could be here this evening. She's currently at, let's get another plug for Parkside, UW Parkside on the pre-med track. She said, from the moment I met Miss Artis, she instilled in me to always give back to your community. Since then, I'm eager to volunteer at any community event that allows me to be of service to others. She has laid the groundwork for me to make a difference in my own neighborhood, and that is something I will keep with me forever. Then we have Julia Peters. Where is Julia? There's Julia there. Julia Peters, Dream Girl, Mahone Scholar, and let's give a plug for Carthage College. She's Carthage Sociology major. Julia recalled, we went on a tour of Carthage College with Dream Girls. 4 years later, I applied for and received the Mahone Carthage Access Scholarship. Miss Artis initiated my college journey in middle school and made my dreams come true. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a joy and a privilege to introduce the woman who is a beacon of light, a constant glow, a grantor of dreams, and the 2023 Susan B. Anthony Lifetime Achievement recipient, my friend, Miss Artis Mahone Mosley.
Welcome to my world. Woo! Terry, we didn't learn all this at Washington, but I want to thank you so very much. Receiving awards for me is not part of my world. My world is about saving children, saving lives. You don't have to clap. Wait a minute, hold tight. Pump the brakes. If you can take that energy, then you can save children. Okay, don't give me a little bit of icing and no cake. All right? Don't say what you want to do, just go do it. I work at a school. Where's my table? Lincoln Middle, shout it out. Shout it out. That is my Monday through Friday, sometimes Saturday and Sunday family. They love me though, because they know I'm doing the right thing. AAYI, raise your hand. And that's what I'm talking about, African American Youth Initiative. More importantly, Mahone family. I love me, my brothers, my sisters, and that little pretty little thing right there, my daughter. I love my family. My sister, my only sister. I didn't do like everyone else and write a speech. Because I can speak, I know it's all right. and you know I mean no disrespect, sweetheart, right? Because what I'm going to say to you comes from my heart. It's going to come from my experience. If you don't like it, get over it. You have to get over it, because when you wake up in the morning and you realize you didn't do what you were supposed to do, okay? Shame on you. When you wake up tomorrow and realize that voting is next week and you didn't vote, but you want to complain, shame on you. There are so many things that we could have done here in Kenosha, we can still do it. We sit here and talk about, well, we should have done this, we should have done that. And then after the fact, everybody has an excuse. What are you doing about the children in school that are disrespecting their teachers and they can't learn? How can you learn when you call a teacher out of their name? How can you learn when we as parents are stopping the administrators for trying to make the schools safe, and you as a parent, oh, that's my baby? What about your baby? What about your baby when your baby comes home at night and tells you to shut up? I have my friend, where are you, Josh? Is Josh still here? Did he leave? Okay. That's all right, because see, I know what Josh does every day. He walks the halls at Bradford High School, and he's helping our children. Ladies and gentlemen, my speech looks like this, which is nothing but a piece of paper. Why are we just celebrating Women's History just for 1 month? Do we realize all these children that are being born were born by we as women? And they weren't born once a month or 1 month out the year? When are we going to start holding all of us accountable for the actions of men and women and children? Why is it okay that sometimes we can do right and then sometimes we can do wrong? Why is it okay for you as a parent to walk over to my school, your school, and want to physically abuse staff when your child is physically and verbally abusing staff? And I'm talking about middle school kids. I'm not talking about children in high school that can almost vote, but they can't read, write, or count. You heard what I said, they can't read, they can't write, and they definitely cannot count. So who's signing off on a report card? Or do they make those anymore? Are we holding a report card? Are we holding ourselves accountable anymore for things that go on? No. Are we ashamed that we've allowed it to get this far and go this far? Yes. But who do we blame? I have several young women in this room who came from Dream Girls. Please stand. Come on, y'all, get up. You know better. You know better. That's what I'm talking about. Stand up. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your future. These young women, baby, get your hand out your face. These young women are very smart and ready to do what needs to be done. They volunteer. They come over and do what they have to do. And they have all the love in their heart for themselves. As I tell the girls in Dream Girls, your brain is the most important part of your body. The rest of it is just fluff. Have a seat. You see this sister back there? We know it's just fluff, but we find out too late it's just fluff. Hi, T. Let's see what, oh, do you know there's no prize for hoarding education and knowledge? I mean, seriously, there's no prize for it. So why do we want to keep everybody ignorant? And I see everybody going like, what is she talking about? You know what I'm talking about. See, that's one thing about me, you know, artists will just say it and be through with it. I guess I should put out a survey and ask, what would you like to happen in Kenosha? We don't need a survey. I remember when Dr. King was assassinated, and these white men drove up on my parents' property in a truck and pulled out guns and had the audacity to think that they were going to run us off. Do you know who you're messing with? You are messing with Arthur and Mary Lou Mahone. Not afraid to die for freedom or anything. My father told us, go to the window. And you know what we went to the window with. Okay? Everyone has a right to be free, y'all. But in order to be free, you have to get an education. You have to have an education. Why are we not making it a mandate that our children are educated and holding parents responsible when they're not? What are you afraid of the parents that are out here that are supposed to be doing what they're doing? And then we have the audacity to let outsiders come into our city and burn our city down? No, y'all can sit there, yeah. We had the audacity to allow people from out of town to come in here and try to burn our city down. How hard did we work for that? We have to start teaching truths, and most importantly, we have to start living truths. It's so quiet in here. Why else? Thank you, baby. You're supposed to be on my side, remember? Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you. Susan B. Anthony, oh, you guys know something? If Susan B. Anthony had been a black woman, they'd have hung her behind in a tree. One more time. If Susan B. Anthony had been a what? A black woman, they'd have hung her in a tree. What you gonna do about that? Seriously. So what you gonna do, hang me? I doubt it. So do I. I beg your pardon? What'd you say, Kathy? I know that was your voice. What'd you say? Say it loud, although I can't hear up here.
She's scared.
Oh, scared. Oh, don't be scared. That's fear. Fear is what keeps us ignorant. Okay? You can't have that fear. You have to stand out there on Front Street and be able to say, you're wrong, or you're right. You have to. We're living in 2023. Are we going to keep living in fear because of a bunch of small-minded people that want to keep us, as they used to say it about women, barefoot and pregnant? Fear. You don't let fear take over your life. You let fear help you get what is rightfully yours and make it right. Nobody's asking everybody to agree all the time. But we respect what I have to bring to the table. Quit trying to shoot me because I disagree with you. Quit trying to burn down my house because I disagree with you. Who died and made you God? Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. Susan B. Anthony Board, it's been a pleasure. Kenosha, I did not want to come back here. I didn't. Wasn't nothing happening, but everything's happening here now, have you noticed? Lincoln Park Live, Howard Park Jazz. Oh, Reaching for Rainbows, yes. Oh, guess what? May 9th, Carthage College. All I needed was a prompter, y'all. Okay. That is when we're going to have the students that are receiving Mahone scholarships at Carthage College. You guys should come, it's fun. You learn a lot. Hi, Ashley. McTurnan, Siskowski. Yes. Anything else that I missed? Any further announcements? See, if you were in the black church, this would be the announcements for the week. Oh, Mahone volunteers. Okay, you want them to too? It has been a pleasure, ladies and gentlemen. But I want you to think about what I said. Vote. Education of your children. Keeping your children out of our jails. Okay? Do you know how many of our children are in jails? How many of our children are having babies? Babies having babies. It's still going on, y'all. Safe sex, how about teaching your kids that? Because you can't just say no. Where'd they come up with that phrase? Just say no. What kind of sense does that make? I'm serious, y'all laughing, but what sense does it make just to say no? Say no to what? Drugs, sex, violence. Anthony Jefferson, I am so proud of you. Shebaniah Muhammad, I love you. Proud of you, my love. Miss Mercer Lee, proud of you, dear. Yeah. Hi, Sabrina. Miss Yolanda, proud of you, baby. We got to keep doing better with our AAYI, right? And we will. So, on that note, thank you.
One more round of applause for Miss Artis. I will say, if you want the honest truth, just talk to Miss Artis. What an inspirational night. I truly enjoy this event because the women here just are outstanding. And if you didn't notice, they all were connected some way. So I just encourage you all to connect to leadership and inspiring people, make a difference, do good, and make our community better. So thank you all for coming.